Hey guys, it's Cynical here, and welcome back to another video, and welcome back to me and Max's review on Father's Day, the 8th episode in our Series 1 commentaries. Make sure to go back and watch our other commentaries to get yourself up to date for this moment, but yeah, it's been, past the halfway point now, definitely, in episode 8, Father's Day. So
on the home stretch.
Yeah, any prior, conceptions about the episode?
Well, this is weird because I've watched the rest of Series 1 to death, but I've hardly ever watched this episode because, I used to be sort of frightened of it as a kid. Not as in, oh god, the Reapers are scary, but as in, I found, it's hard to explain it. For some reason, I didn't really like the plot of it. Sort of the idea that there was tension between the Doctor and Rose. But of course nowadays we're missing that, and I now think, having read it, the whole plot line is very good because it allows character development for not just Rose but also Pete Tyler, is it, who comes back in Series 2?
Yeah.
Back in the days when, again, dead characters coming back didn't feel old, but of course, it was a good explanation for it because it was parallel Pete, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So basically I haven't seen this one a lot. I forget the last time I saw it all the way through. Must have been years ago. So it'd be interesting to come back to this one with pretty much fresh eyes. The nostalgia isn't quite there. Whereas with other episodes, there's a nostalgia factor that I think is in danger of sort of affecting our feedback and our views on it.
I would definitely disagree with you there on the nostalgia factor, because let me take you back to, I'd say, what's probably 2009, where there's a mini Cynical Who. Just imagine Cynical Who, but a bit smaller and a bit squeakier.
Yeah.
And his dad recorded a Father's Day onto a disc, and little Cynical Who has this little disc. It's one of the only Doctor episodes he has, and he puts it in a DVD player and watches it over and over again, and he doesn't understand what's going on, but he likes it. So yeah, I think that's where the nostalgia comes from in Father's Day. There's it doesn't feel. I think what sort of makes it a bit different is it's an Earthbound episode. It's not in the past like Unquite Dead or Far in the Future like the End of the World, but it's that
it is in the past. But
that's the point. It's not like it's present day. It's just ever so early behind. It's 1989, is it not? Is that the setting?
I think that's right. Yeah.
I think it's that setting which just makes it so much.
1987. You were 2 years out. Okay. Shame on you, Ollie.
Oh dear. Well, yeah, it's sort of that. It's that feeling. I don't know why. It's just very nostalgic. Even though neither of us were alive then, it's just nostalgic for those times, and I don't know why. But it's an interesting thing, and I'd definitely like to look back at it now with rose-tinted glasses, if you pardon the pun. But yeah. I think I as a story it's very good. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. I think, or maybe I remember putting it on my top 10 list, so it must have been good. But yeah,
I'm on a different side of the fence to you, so I won't give it a rating just yet, because whereas you're very familiar with the story, I'm not so familiar.
Okay,
but we'll see.
Yeah, let's get ready to watch. Fingers on play buttons, and we'll start watching in 3, 2, 1. Oh, it lagged
and we
a bit.
begin with a very dodgy Ken Burns filter.
An odd picture of him as well. Oh, that is a very dodgy zoom, isn't it?
Eyes. It's like something off YouTube. And we do actually see Jackie in this one. The child actor, they did a good job of getting a child actor with the likeness in terms of the hair and.
Although Jackie does look exactly the same as she does 20 years later, but 20. Roughly.
Yeah. I like how they've, on the iPlayer description, there's an exclamation mark on the end that makes it sound a bit silly.
I really like the score of this episode. I'll talk about it a bit later, but this is one of the best scores from Series 1, I'd say. Probably the best, yeah. The main, on the soundtrack, I think it's track 8. No, track 6 or 7.
Oh, right.
There's a track called Father's Day, and it is so nice. I want to learn how to play it at some point, but for some reason, as a kid, I always remembered that little ball that Chris Eccleston's chucking about. Sort of looks like one of those washing machine things.
Oh, God. So it's just the zoom in.
Oh, God, I never realised. He smiles in the second one. It's changed.
A lovely shot of the TARDIS, sort of sweeping to the left.
Yeah.
Focusing in on the rotor, and then counterbalanced by that Ken Burns thing. It's just the time that it was done in. You could get away with it back then. But nowadays everyone has that kind of computer editing software and
Yeah.
so. Okay, so apparently Russell T Davies came up with the concept for this early in the day because it was a perfect time travel story, and he wanted the storyline to be simple and drawn from human emotions. I think
Yeah,
certainly
strange
they
how
succeed in that.
strange how this is a story about paradoxes, and they haven't, apart from maybe something in like Genesis, they haven't really explored this area of Doctor Who that much by this point, have they not? Let me I don't think so. No, which is interesting.
Yeah. Rose's comment there, again, sort of brings it down to earth. Right. So, additionally, the previous 7 episodes had established why Rose was a good companion, and so Father's Day shows that she does make mistakes, but in a relatable way. So it succeeds on that, and Cornell was chosen
But the Doctor doesn't chuck her out the TARDIS like Adam in the last episode.
They do have an argument about it, though, don't they?
Oh yeah, that's very good.
But so Cornell was chosen to write the episode because he'd written Doctor Who spin-off material, which bridged the gap between the classic series and the new, so the Virgin New Adventures.
I love this moment as well.
And what's this? The BBC, as ever, do a very good job of evoking that period.
Yeah, that's the
and
sort of
making
thing.
it feel like the 80s.
The colouring of this episode as well is very good. I think I must have I think I mentioned in my video. I think if this story was in black and white, it might look quite nice. I think it might look quite interesting.
I don't think it worked. Maybe for the Happiness Patrol, but
I think, well, at least with the scenes where like she breaks time, if you will. If it was in black and white for that section, it might look interesting. I don't know.
I don't know.
Or at least like half desaturated, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Originally, this was going to be the Bostle episode, so the budget-saving character piece, focusing on the death of Rose's father. But Paul Cornell came up with the idea of the Reapers, which were originally going to look more like the Grim Reaper.
Oh,
so Mr.
be interesting.
And BBC head of drama Jane Tranter encouraged the additions of monsters to the new series. Working titles for the episode included Wounded Time and Wound in Time.
That was a loud sigh there. Yeah.
Yeah, for a family show, this is pretty dark.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone gets run over by a car.
I love how she looks away and she wants
and
to
the
see
thing
it.
you can and you can really sympathise with Rose for wanting to change it.
I can't think of much. It's a shame because
now.
Yeah, it is very emotional, this story. I think probably the most emotionally moving out of series 1 as a whole. Maybe, I mean, the hologram speech at the end is pretty.
And it's really weird how the Ninth Doctor never says anything. I think because he genuinely doesn't know that Rose is thinking what she's thinking, but
those bollards, those concrete things in the background always look a bit phallic to me, and I don't know.
So anyway, the Ninth Doctor sort of.
I love how you just ignored that.
I mean,
comment.
nowadays, whenever a companion says, I want to do this sort of thing, you'd expect the 13th Doctor to go, oh, there are certain laws of timing. Every single historical, the 13th Doctor is saying not to interfere. And the 9th Doctor hardly ever says it here until it's too late.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Oh. Yeah.
Well,
and this is the
music
this
there.
is the turning point of the episode, and it's only 6 minutes in. We've been saying every week about the pacing, it being very fast, and and this must be an odd moment for Rose, of course. Speaking to her father, and her father doesn't know that it's her.
Which leads to some interesting lines later on.
Yeah.
This isn't a very good commentary, is it? We're not saying much, but
Well, the
It's
thing
just
is,
because
I've
I'm
not
enjoying
watched
the
it for
episode
years,
so much. It's just
it's
I
just
can't. I love that
making
as well.
it's certainly making me feel something.
Yeah. Interesting those shots though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
I quite like Pete Tyler. It's
Yeah,
nice to see him back in
certainly
Rise
relatable.
Rise of the Cybermen. Yeah, Rise of the Cybermen and Doomsday.
Mm. And of course, Ninth Doctor smiling superficially on the surface, and now the facade drops. Ooh.
I love that. Yeah, I love. Again, I love Eccleston in
Yeah.
these episodes. And this is one of Eccleston's probably it's fifth line in the whole episode, as well, which
Sorry?
is quite good. It's just
Yeah.
probably Eccleston's fifth line in the whole episode, which
Yeah.
is just.
And the thing is, whereas debates nowadays seem to be very one-sided, and you know what the outcome's going to be, they both make very good points, and they're
Yeah.
both worthy of each other. And you sympathise with Rose's reasons. You understand the Doctor's logic as well.
Oof.
Well, that escalated very quickly.
Yeah. Who directed this? Well,
So it was
I've got
Joe
it here.
Ahern who directed Dalek, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, this was directed quite good. Yeah, credit to the sound
Whooshing,
team.
screeching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a nice filter.
Yeah, nice sound design. Well, filter. I mean, yeah, some of the stuff from the series has dated, but I think this is. It could be better. It's okay.
The thing is, it all looks pretty good at the time, so.
Yeah, definitely.
And the thing is, I don't think they had the budget they do now.
Wait, I don't understand. So why are the Reapers killing people?
I think. I'm sure it'll be explained later on, but I think they're trying to. Because someone was supposed to die, and they're trying to compensate for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Davidson Cornell debated whether it should have been Rose's plan all along to save her father. This is left ambiguous in the episode.
I love
Billy
this line though.
Yeah. Yeah. And
He's just trying to hit on his own daughter.
Billy Piper felt that it didn't occur to Rose until after she began travelling whether or not she had planned to save her father.
Mm.
In the original script, in the scene where the Doctor opens the TARDIS doors and discovers only a police box interior, I know it's not till later, but in the original script, the police box fell apart, but that had to be changed because it wasn't cost effective. But
That would be quite cool.
He thinks the change is an improvement. I've forgotten all about that scene.
Yeah.
Where he opens the TARDIS and nothing's in there. That's quite
I think the idea you just mentioned about it falling apart, that would be quite cool.
Yeah. Do we see the Reapers at this point?
No, I don't think so.
Ah. Okay, so this is the bit where he opens the TARDIS and nothing's in there.
I just love the way
nice
this
Raven sounds there as well.
I just love the way this episode is shot. It just looks so nice.
Yeah, the attention to detail and
Actually, I think I
especially
did.
in the sound design as well.
I did an artwork piece on this about a year ago, I think, and I used the sort of red
Yeah.
effect on it. I'll see if I can find that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's such that great shot. Such a left field moment.
It just reminds you of
Comes out nowhere and
reminds you of something like a Daypole toy or the character options toy.
I mean,
Oh, and it's
it's a little bit
Rick
unclear
Astley.
how that's happened because the TARDIS is supposed to be in a state of grace and untouchable.
And Rick
I
Astley's
understand
playing on the
Reapers
radio.
Reapers switch it off, but um.
Oh. Oh, okay. Missed it. I think we missed it earlier, but there's another Bad Wolf tease on the posters. You know, with the smiley faces.
Oh yeah, because they're
had Bad
graffitied
Wolf.
on the smile posters.
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah. Energize, it says.
Yeah. Oh.
And actually, the Reapers. It turns out they were never actually called the Reapers in the episode at all. They were just named that afterwards.
Aye.
Which is interesting.
On the cast list?
Yeah, they were never not on the cast list, but I mean, I don't know, but maybe, but they were not actually called that in the episode.
Yeah.
That's
and of
nice
course,
as well.
on the phone, it's Watson, come here, I need you, which is the
Yeah.
the first ever telephone call, I believe.
Yeah.
It's a clever display of how time's all effed up. There's the wedding cart. Yeah, so Cornell stated the character of Pete Tyler is based on his own father, who attempted many different jobs and schemes, including, like Pete, selling health drinks, before eventually finding success running a betting shop. Oh, these are just like friends of Donna Noble here.
Yeah, I do like these characters. Yeah, it's a shame that we're not. I really can't think of much more to say about this story, but it's just such an enjoyable episode.
It grabs your attention.
Yeah, and definitely the pacing, as mentioned before.
Well, I feel like it's sort of slowed down. I expected the Reapers would have appeared by now, but there's an element of mystery. You're not quite sure what's happening, and. Oh yes. Ooh.
It's really sad to see Jackie like this.
Oh. Ooh.
Just imagine instead the Reapers was like a ghost car that came to they needed to run over Pete no matter what, and the car just drove into the church and knocked him over.
That shot there of Baby Rose is a nice bit of light humour in what is a very tense and awkward moment. Oh. This is quite excruciating to watch. Because Rose has basically made things worse now. Oh.
Very, very good. And it's this music in the background now, which I was talking about earlier, which is fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was a moment I'd completely forgotten about, or maybe I didn't understand it as a kid.
I think, yeah.
Oh.
I think I've just messaged you on Discord my artwork I did a year ago. But, yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I just don't know what to say. That's the problem. Like, because it takes you in so much, and
Yeah.
yeah, this used to creep me out when I was a kid.
It's very Amy's Choice, the children disappearing and the playground being empty, and
Yeah.
Oh, apparently, the streets that they shot in, the community of Grangetown, didn't require too much work to resemble 1980s streets. Only a few satellite dishes need to be taken down.
One day too soon, maybe. Yeah, and I mean,
the thing I would say is how things are sort of resolved a bit quickly. I mean, 1 minute, Jack and Peter fighting, and then very quickly they're making up. And then the Doctor is very promptly, "Oh, you're not travelling with me anymore." And
the quintessential quote
it feels
here.
very sudden.
Get in the church, Rose!
Yeah.
Rose, I'm trying to resonate concrete.
Ah, there we see the Reaper.
Lovely. Bit vaginal, but...
I mean, they made us wait for the monsters, but... Oh.
Violent. Well, I mean, the thing is, you never actually see him. They just sort of disappear.
The image that's in your mind is enough.
Yeah, yeah.
It conjures up an image of people being eaten and...
Nice noises though, nice sound design on the monsters.
Well, you can kind of tell how they did that. It's just simple screaming and it's been distorted. I mean, that's how most ear rape videos on YouTube work.
Hey guys, it's Bullstrike here.
I didn't mean like that.
I love this moment.
I mean, this does create the paradox of surely she'd recognise the Doctor when she pops up later on in her life. But
No, because this whole moment gets erased.
oh right.
It sort of, it's not a cop out. It's not like not like a Big Bang where the whole of the universe gets reset somehow, which is a bit shit.
Ah.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of Christopher Eccleston's better performances. I think Dalek is probably the one that's still up there, but...
I mean, he has taken a bit of a backseat so far in this.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Billy Piper, this is probably her
at the
best
same
episode.
time, he still has a presence.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not driving the events, but he's very much the moral authority.
Oh, there's a pram that's been knocked over in the road there. That's quite bleak.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Ooh.
That is, yeah, it's dark.
I mean,
I never noticed
probably
that shot. Those shots were quite nice. I like that. I never sort of realised that before.
I wonder if maybe they didn't need to focus on that.
Well, it was quite nice.
You didn't need that shot. You already knew the shot with the shoes. You didn't need.
Did he just dab?
No, he was covering his eyes.
Yeah, I know. It's a nice effect though.
Oh, that's a lovely shot, the way the Reaper
Yeah.
swoops in. The CGI is very well done. I think the only thing that dates... Watching on iPlayer, the CGI actually looks quite good. I think the only thing that dates Series 1 is the fact it's just made on a lower resolution. Which is why, if you're watching it on a TV nowadays, it looks very grainy, because it wasn't made for TVs that are so large. I mean, in my bedroom, I have an old 4x3 TV, like an old Technica TV bought from Tesco, that used to be in my grandma's house, and I watch. It's got a DVD player built into it, so it doesn't pick up TV, but I watch DVDs on it. And Series 1, I was taken aback by how good it looked, because the colours really come out, and it doesn't look grainy at all. It looks very sharp, and so the only thing is just the resolution.
Yeah, I'd be interesting to see how, because I've never got any of the series, the sort of new series episodes on Blu-ray, and I think it'd be interesting to see if I ever picked up Series 1 on Blu-ray. But I think it's the factor of it, the factor of the low quality. It's like,
I think
it like sort of nails the nostalgia factor, because seeing it, I think seeing it in really high quality would be sort of like
I think the Series 1 and Series 4 Blu-rays, you might not notice too much of a difference, because they were shot on standard definition video, which is quite difficult to remaster compared to, say, film.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's more storage space. So whereas DVDs, they're all compressed, which does have an impact on the quality. So there might be a subtle difference, but it won't be too, compared to some of the later series that are shot in HD, where there will be a substantial difference. It will look a lot sharper. But of course, it'd be interesting to see how things like Series 5 onwards, how they date. You know, as TVs get bigger and the resolution.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Yeah, Christopher Eccleston's fantastic.
There's the Doctor, yeah.
Lovely.
I mean, nowadays Whittaker gets speeches like that all the time, and I'm sorry to say she can't pull it off.
Oh no, sometimes I think. Again, another not a moaning video about Chris Chibnall, because
No.
we've done that in every one of these commentaries.
Yeah, so Camille Kajuri wore a wig for this episode.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. So,
right,
they brought in... So, for the 1980s style, members of the cast and crew brought in photographs of themselves from the 80s. So, peach dresses and big hair are incorporated, but these elements were not meant to be too distracting.
Oh, right.
And some of the conversation between Rose and her father in the car was cut because the car had made the dialogue delivery too bouncy.
Right. Oh dear.
Do you think he's figured it out?
A little bit. This is weird. This is very strange.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I did always
forgot about this.
Yeah. I think that's a bit of a weird moment of the episode.
That was not necessary.
No, why? I don't know what the whole point of Mickey being there is. Like,
No.
Yeah, strange.
And also, it means...
Yeah?
Well, it's just Mickey's a lot older than Rose, because Rose is just a baby, and like Mickey's 4 or 5. I mean, an age gap, but I realise now that's not important. That's why I hesitated.
But... No, hang on. No, that's not right, because they were supposedly together when Rose left school, so does that mean she was like 16 and he was...
That moment is wrong on many levels.
Oh, so Mickey's a pedo. Oh, lovely. Well, yeah, that is wrong. I've just figured this out. That is weird.
Yeah.
Don't touch the baby.
Oh. In oh.
Yeah, speaking of pacing, with the issue
I
with the
feel
last
like it's
week's one,
slowed
this
down
is
now.
yeah. I mean, 27 minutes in, and I think it does sort of feel like that again. I don't think it's much of a
You could
detriment
probably
as
get
it was
away with
last
cutting
week.
out 15 minutes and making it sort of 30 minutes, but
It's not really as bad. It's just, I think, yeah, as I said, not as much of a detriment as the long games pacing,
yeah.
but not as swift as, say, Rose or The Unquite Dead.
Yeah.
Um, See, look, green jumper.
It's a shirt.
Yeah, no, it's a jumper. It's a V-neck jumper, Max, and it's green. It's green.
Right, maybe it's a jumper. I think it's certainly green. Him standing at the altar.
Yeah, it's quite funny. I think that's the fifth or sixth fantastic we've had so far.
I'm sure that there've got to be more than that, but
Well, you'd be surprised.
okay. So, just looking. So, Billy Piper was apparently scared of holding the baby, because it's present throughout the majority of the episode, but the number of hours they could work with the infant was limited. An artificial baby was used as a placeholder in some scenes.
Yeah.
The special effects team had. The episode ended up being more expensive than intended because of the CGI for the Reapers. So Alexander Graham Bell's first telephone message was "Watson, come here, I need you," according to this. But historical records indicate the words to actually be "Watson, come here, I want you." The error was not present in Paul Cornell's original script, but crept in at some point during production. Producer Phil Conson speculated that it was because the line was re-recorded. It was originally recorded by someone who the production team felt put on too false a Scottish accent, and so it was re-recorded by a real Scot. But of course they got the line slightly wrong because they didn't think it mattered too much. You can't get the staff, can you?
Oh, this music.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
This is
Sad?
it's quite uncomfortable viewing at times. Not in a bad way, it's just very bleak and sad.
For people with no souls like us.
Yeah.
I think there's actually an error on the top of the screen, but that might just be me. Oh, this bit as well. This bit of the music. And a bit weird how the TARDIS appears out of the key. I think it's interesting. I don't really understand that, but it looks nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that screech there is very like thrash
For
metal.
some reason, I remembered it like
Do you think the
So he
Reapers
said
listen to thrash metal?
probably, yeah. I was thinking the way he turned to the people, he's like, "You are going to get married." For some reason, I remember him sort of listing different things, and just imagine he turns to Pete and going, "You will get knocked over by a car, and you will die cold in the road alone."
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
nice line there.
Now that line there is taken from something Paul Cornell's father once said to him.
Oh, I love this moment. Oh God. No. Twat. Sorry.
No, but Rose didn't put up much of a fight, but too buried in the moment, I guess. Oh.
Speaking of twats, sorry. that I've never realised that it's quite creepy how it just sort of
Yeah.
the Reaper just sits there and sort of twitches. That's quite scary.
Oh, and
and
is given proper doctor things to do.
like
I'm
dying.
the oldest thing in here, sort of, putting himself forward.
Yeah, and
that's
can we
Pete
just
earlier
mention
on.
the Doctor has literally
Oh.
just died.
Yeah, it's taking a bit of a dark turn.
Yeah. So now it's up to Rose to.
No, it's not up to Rose.
Oh, it's up to. Well, yeah, it's up to Pete, but.
Okay, so Billie Piper stated that this was her favourite episode, the most emotionally taxing for her to perform. And certainly, as I say, I think her acting's brilliant in this, as
Definitely.
ever.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're starting to tear the church down.
Oh, this bit of music here, the noise in the background. Lovely.
It's very quiet, but all the better for it. Oh.
Mm. I don't know who does.
Yeah, just
play.
great acting from
Yeah,
everyone in
definitely.
general.
Yeah. Don't know who
That's a
plays
lovely
Pete, but
shot
he's
as well,
fantastic.
Let's just check. Let's give him the recognition.
Again,
he
here I
deserves.
think it's this main moment.
It's Sean Dinwall.
Okay, Sean Dinwall, whatever.
God bless you.
Does it very well. I think it's what I was mentioning about the muted sort of colours, the very sort of grey looking
Yeah.
tones and feel of the story is really
Yeah.
presented here. I love it. It's so nice.
I mean, it comes a bit suddenly, because it. And of course, this is a bit showing, not telling. The audience would have worked it out a while ago. It's just the Reapers using the car to try and kill Pete to try and put things back to normal. And it's never said for sure. It's alluded to this point, but it's not said straight. And of course, nowadays you would have that exposition. The audience is credited with intelligence.
Surprising how this theme hasn't got repetitive yet and annoying, considering it's cropped up so many times in the story. Or with a bit of added piano in this version instead. Or something. Lovely. Are you crying, Max?
I'm starting to well up a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah. I just think the dialogue and the performance. Yeah. I cannot think of another word to use other than moving.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Despite it's quite a portentous cliche. Oh, it's very moving, but
emotionally developed, I guess.
Yeah.
Sad.
Originally, the plan was
Nice
for Pete was going to take a swig of wine before he sacrifices himself, which a nice touch. But they decided the combination of alcohol and bravery would not have been a very positive message.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine Clara Oswald in Face the Raven, taking doing that, and
I like how we don't actually see it as well. That's quite nice.
Yeah, but it's weird. Like the moment the car goes in, there's a quick moment where it's like he's just standing there as though it's not happened.
I think the way the Doctor stood out from behind her was a bit. I think if it just sort of, she was just there, and he was like he didn't walk in. He was just there.
Oh.
Anyway, would have looked nice, but I like at the end here we get another exposition back with
maybe it was
young
deliberate. The Doctor, particularly with Sylvester McCoy, was always a sort of magician. Maybe he made himself disappear because he knew the only way that it could all end was for Pete to die. But of course, he couldn't bear to say that. He felt he needed to let the humans take the forefront, kill the Moonstar, possibly.
I suppose.
But I think it's more likely he would have just told Pete. Which he could have still done, but
So basically, everything in the space of that time hasn't properly happened yet. I don't think.
Oh.
I love this moment as well. The way it changes. So it changes time. He didn't accidentally get hit.
Yeah.
He killed himself, which is... So Rose tried to fix things and made it worse, which is sad.
Maybe, yeah.
Turns out it was Rose.
Yeah, and of course that's addressed in Passing of the Ways, isn't it?
Yeah, that is... Oh yeah, I forgot about that moment. That's very good, isn't it?
I think this ending is sort of undermined by the fact he comes back as a recurring character. Be interesting to see if he didn't come back, it would probably have more impact. But as it does, it is moving still.
I didn't know that at the time, so...
Yeah.
The TARDIS has moved. It's now there.
Yeah.
Nice shot there as well.
Convenient plot device. But
Yeah. Nice music now and nice shot. And a nice ending to a very good episode. Ooh, and the next time trailer for...
Oh, this one.
Yeah, The Empty Child. Sorry if we seemed a bit vacant in that commentary, but it's just
as I said, I hadn't seen this one a lot, and it's just... It does draw you in a lot.
Yeah.
I think there are pacing issues, because it's very fast in the first few minutes, but it then sort of slows down and there isn't so much of a story. Like I say, they could have cut it down to 30 minutes, but you do get a lot of good character stuff to make up for that, and it gets very moving at the end. I know I've used that word at least 3 times now. But yeah, no, that was
Yeah.
a decent one.
Interesting, and very good episode, and does deserve the recognition it gets as one of the best of the new series.
I didn't think it got that recognition, but
Let me have a look. Just
I think it gets positive reviews, but you don't really see it on a lot of YouTube videos being discussed as one of the best, one of the standouts.
let's have a look. Carry on talking about the episode whilst I look this up. No.
But
just trying to look where it came up with the DWM polls.
I mean, IMDb, it's an 8.4 out of 10 rating.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
I think it's just the fact that there's, like we said last week, there's a lot of good stuff in the RTD era, and it kind of slips through the cracks a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
When you have stories like, say, Doomsday, especially since those stories are kind of what happens in them is more significant. But because you have companion departures and the big plots and returning villains. But no, I think it was. I've seen some critics say that the Reapers are apparently the big letdown, but I don't think they are. I don't feel like it's a monster being shoved in for the sake of it. I think the idea of these aliens that are sort of there to rectify time that's gone wrong, I think was a good one, and also shows the consequences of mucking about with time. Get ups the stakes and adds drama to it.
Looking at it, I can't find it on the polls, but it's not. I don't think it's as high up as I thought it was. But DWM polls a bit unreliable. But yeah, I think that's that was a very good episode. I think it's still probably an 8 out of 10. Maybe actually, fuck it, 8.5. It's
I'd
just
give
very.
it an 8.
The ending is very, as you said, moving. Very good. Very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, just Billy Piper is brilliant in it.
Fantastic, and so is Christopher Eccleston, and
the thing is, we still haven't had a story quite like it, and so it still stands out on its own.
Yeah.
I think.
Nice paradoxical piece by Paul Cornell.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
Which do you prefer this or the other story that you wrote for Doctor Who, which is Human Nature?
Probably. Oh, that's a very difficult one because Human Nature is also very good. I'd say probably this one. I can't remember which one I put higher in my top 10 list, but
I need to go back and rewatch Human Nature. But I think the competition is tight, but Human Nature just clinches it.
I'd say whilst you're at it, just binge watch Series 3. But yeah.
Series 3 is excellent, but that's for another time. But anyway, we like Father's Day. We hope you do as well.
Again,
we
sorry
hope
for
you
not
enjoyed
saying
this
much.
commentary.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter and all our links and whatnot. Sorry?
What little commentary there was.
Yeah, that fair enough. Hopefully it'll be more next week for the Doctor. No, sorry, the Empty Child. That's the one, the two-parter.
It's the Empty Child, then the Doctor dances.
Yeah, there we go. Make sure to join us back for that episode next week. Make sure to click on the playlist below to watch all the commentary so far if you can find the time. What were you going to say? Is there anything else you need to mention?
No, not really.
Oh, okay, well, there we go. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time for The Empty Child. Goodbye.
Goodbye.